We will start with the Seahawks and a man who might be the longest tenured employee at Seahawks headquarters. I don't have it exactly as a fact, but Director of Equipment Erik Kennedy joins us now. EK, thanks for making time for us today. I mean, I gotta believe 37 years. Is there anybody that's been with the Seahawks longer?
I mean, there might be a few people who've been here longer, but I think I'm the longest traveling by far, traveling with the team and moving the team everywhere for sure. I think this is my 38th camp, actually, coming into 38.
Okay, so 38th camp.
A lot of summers.
Man, I'll tell you, I'm trying to keep track of all the years you've been there, and I missed by one, so I apologize for that. But how much fun has it been for you working with all the players and coaches you've met over the years?
I'll tell you what, it's been a dream, right? I started in high school, went to Redmond High School, and got an opportunity to flip through it. And I mean, some of the greatest people I've ever met, inside the building, outside the building. What an opportunity for a young guy to be able to get an opportunity to work for his hometown team. It's been sweet.
Yeah, some of the newest faces of the team, the rookies, report to training camp on Friday. What's the biggest challenge for you and your staff as camp opens?
You know what? I think getting everybody situated, we try and knock all those things out while they're here in May and June. So when we get here in July, everybody's prepped and ready to go. Guys are fired up. They're bringing a ton of energy. It's good to get everybody back right off the bat, and it's exciting. It's exciting to see these new guys, what an opportunity they're going to have in a fresh space and playing at this level, and what opportunities they have to grow and shine under this organization. It's going to be fun.
Hey, let's talk about you for a minute. The Seahawks were the first team in the NFL to utilize a foot scanner, which has been extremely helpful, fitting players for proper cleats. Is there any other new technology that you have in the building there to help you fit players head to toe?
You know, about 10 years ago, we started with Rydell making shoulder pads, right? Trying to figure out what they're going to do. And about 2 years ago, and it kind of came to fruition. Had an opportunity. We went from about 3 guys last year to 23 by the end of the season, with full range of motion, movement, protection. It's been one of those things that it's been exciting for me to be able to see, and just meeting with them the other day, of having the ability to maybe increase the protection 10% per impact. So over the course of a game, that's a ton. So to see little changes like that's exciting. I mean, for me, to be able to protect our players is one of the most important things for me, and to see the growth and where it's come to over the years it's been incredible.
Yeah, we did talk about that foot scanning, though. We heard that Jackson Smith-Njigba was wearing a size 12 cleat in college, and he had hamstring problems because of that. I mean, so clearly there's a lot that goes into what you're doing to fit these players. Like, how does it actually help them, like, on the field?
You know, it's been pretty cool. We've had a relationship with Nike and Corpus now for a long period of time, and obviously with Adidas and Under Armour and things like that, but Nike's in our back door, and it's been really fun for us to be able to see foot placement in a shoe and where the breaking point is and what can affect the hamstrings, and it's player driven, because they tell me when they come back, or Austin Bowie, who kind of runs it for us now, they tell us that, like, man, my hamstrings don't feel as tight after practice today, and ultimately it's a group of things. It's not just one thing, but that has been a massive tool for us over the last 15 years.
Yeah, I can imagine every time you have a chance to chase an edge or get out in front of people and get that technology to help you guys out, I'm sure it's huge. You know, I know part of what you do there, Erik, is with the players, of course, is you not only deal with their physical needs, but emotionally, you've been there for them for years. You built a lot of bonds over those years. How much does that mean to you?
It means the world. I mean, that's the best part of the job, right? You get a chance to see a young guy at 20 to 21 years old come in, depends if they're driven, and then seeing them here for 8-9 years and meeting their families and their kids and getting a chance to know the ins and outs, and not just players, coaches and staff too. It's part of the best part of it is it's relationship based business, and it is protecting guys, but like, how do you get them to tell you the 100% truth about how they're feeling unless you have a relationship? They're not going to just come out and tell you. So to be able to get that insight and have those relationships, it means the world to me. That'll be the part when I'm done I miss the most.
Yeah, that's incredible. And the players have shown their appreciation to you over the years. There's an anecdote that Norman Hand, a defensive tackle for only 1 season in Seattle, appreciated the relationship he had with you so much, he gave you a $9,500 Cartier watch. Were you just blown away by that?
Man, I don't know how you found that out, but that is facts. Somebody tipped that off because there's not a lot of people that probably know it. I was a young kid, and he left at the stadium, and he was like, "Hey, I left my watch down there," and then I came back. It was back on my desk, and it went back and forth. And he's just like, "Man, he appreciated me so much." And it's not about the gifts, really. It's about the relationships, and they treat me now. It's funny, when I was a young guy, they treated me like Jacob Green really helped put me on the map with the guys and the trust and the work level. And then down to, as I've gotten older, I'm the older guy, right? Now me and Mo Kelly are two of the older guys who've been around for a long period of time, and the relationships, that's the special part. It is truly the special part. God, I can't believe you brought the Cartier.
Go on, man. That had to be special. I'm glad you had a chance to chat about it and fill us in a little bit. But as you know, Hall of Famer Walter Jones is a co-host on the Fifth Quarter Sunday nights here on King 5. A Big Walt was a rookie in 1997. You two remain close. How was it dealing with Big Walt through his playing days?
Man, I'll tell you what, Walt, I could tell some things about Walt now. Walt's so quiet when he started, and now he doesn't stop talking. And he's one of the, as Paul knows, one of the greatest joys to be around, with his laugh and his smile, and genuinely cares about people so much. And he has the biggest heart, would do anything for anybody, comes across as wants to be a tough guy. And he is one of the greatest. He is probably one of the top 2 greatest players I've ever seen here, and one of the greatest ultimate Seahawk players of all time. The way he treats his teammates, the way he acts towards people. Now, this group we have right now is pretty solid. They're really close, and it's exciting. But Walt will always be one of my best friends, and over the period of time, he hasn't played football in a long time, and I talk to Walt probably, I don't know, once every couple of weeks I try, but it's a busy time, about to gear up, and I'm excited to see him get back in town and get on the show.
Yeah, he's definitely scary in the trenches, but he's a softie at heart. We enjoy having him here. Let's talk about the volume of equipment you use. Which piece of equipment do you go through the most? And also, how many footballs do the Seahawks go through in a season?
We go through a ton of footballs. Last year we practiced outside later in the season. I'm gonna start with that, and I bet we probably went through 650 footballs from game day to practice to everything. Just because the weather, when you go outside in that rain, it's a process and a prep. We used to do a lot of that in-house, almost all of it in-house, and now we're kind of doing a lot of it out-house, just because of time. Football is a big use. I would say, when it comes down to face masks and, there's T-shirts and things like that we rip through. We go through a ton of product. Guys get particular to what they like to wear, and we actually have a set for practice and a set for home games and a set for road games, and whether it be whatever color uniform we're wearing or whatever it is. And I've got an amazing group of staff that kind of handle all those things, that do a great job. So there's not one. Socks, we probably go through the most socks. Socks would be probably, now that it just kind of triggered me there, it's probably one of our biggest run through, because it's socks when you come in and socks when you leave and socks for practice.
How about gloves, Eric?
Say it one more time.
How about gloves? Like when the players you talk about socks. I imagine you go through quite a few gloves out there.
Yeah, we go through gloves. I hate to even tell you how much we spend in gloves, but like Jax might wear. I'll use him as an example. He might wear 5 or 6 pair in a game. Pregame, 1 per quarter. Some other guys might go through 2 or 3. Gloves a lot. It used to be where you got 1 pair of gloves for the week, and now, a guy drops a ball or a guy catches the ball and wants to save him or wants to give him to a fan, or, and it's part of it. And you've got to be prepared for everything you have. And the good thing is we have a good understanding of what guys need once we get through kind of training camp. What they're using every day for the game, and what our high volume number things are, and then we start to order again, right? So it's constantly ordering and keeping an inventory, and we're never going to get to the point where we got 2 left or where we're going to run out. Then we got a problem. So we've got a big stock of gloves, probably I'm guessing 100,000+ worth of gloves in the back, ready to go to kick off the season.
Meanwhile, as a rec football player myself, I go through 1 pair of gloves every 2 seasons. So I definitely would not be charging you very much for gloves.
No.
When players
and cleats, we go through cleats a lot too. Cleats is a high number. Guys will wear I'd say probably 8% of the guys wear a new player every week. So to keep the same shape and form, there's a process. What we have we try and put guys in flip flops with an arch, and we try and keep guys, and if they need insoles or orthotics or the stretch of the shoe to hit, if there's something going on with their foot, there's a process we've put into it about the last 14 years, which we believe here that it works, and we've had a lot of success with the foot stuff that you brought up earlier in the show, and it's exciting just the first 3 days of camp, getting everybody out running around as much as they're going to run around, and try not to have any blisters, and most of the time we don't. So which is a pretty good success story on the cleats side, or just the training side as well.
When players exchange jerseys with opponents after the game, is there a limit to how many they're allowed to give away before you have to start charging them for the jerseys?
You know what? Every player gets 2 jerseys. Is kind of what we've always done here for the last 15 years. And after that, they pay for them. So for me, there's no limit. If a guy wants to, now they can't trade 3 on game day because they're only wearing 1 and we have it a backup. But it's like, we have 1 is kind of the number that guys usually do, and then they'll give us a heads up. Majority of guys will say, hey, I'm going to trade my jersey tomorrow, or after the game, hey, I traded my jersey, and then we go through them in inventory, and then the process starts to make them back up on Monday again, and we do them. We get them from Nike, but they're all done locally from company SCT. So it's nice to have a company that's close that does a lot of our stuff, and then a manufacturer that's willing to work with us.
I know you got a lot of stories, Erik, over the years for sure, but you never know what type of equipment failures you have to deal with day in, day out. Can you give us an example or two of some of the more unique fixes you've had to pull off?
I'm going to tell you one that just popped in my mind when I heard you prepping it is we played in a preseason game versus the Raiders. And David Hawthorne, heater, was running downfield and actually blew off his face mask. I've never seen 3 pieces come off. It was hanging by 1 strap left. And I was like, wow. And that has never happened. Darren Lazuda does an amazing job of working on the helmets daily, weekly, throughout the season. We don't just put parts in, and that just doesn't happen. That's why it's a success, one, for him, and the manufacturer's doing a good job of building the product, but also to see that happen, you're like, oh gosh. He's coming out of the game, but usually the rule is get him back in within 1 play, which we only have a couple of those a year, and that was going to take more than 1 play. So he actually, I think they ended up pulling him after that from the game because he was a rookie free agent. They didn't want to they wanted to keep him playing. So I think they kind of shut him down for the day, but they realized he was a physical young man. And we've had some things like that. There's, whether you got to build a neck roll or do something during a game, those things happen, and you got to be ready. And experience helps, right? We have a lot of stuff prepped. Darren and I have a bunch of stuff in the trunk and Bowie that are ready to go in case there's an injury or something comes up or something happens or we need to fix something or put a stiffener in a plate or do something. We have the ability to do it right there on the sideline.
You're a regular MacGyver. Let's take you back in time to the 3rd coldest NFL game on record. It was 6 below at kickoff in Minnesota when the Seahawks beat the Vikings in a playoff game. What do you remember about that game, and what did it take to prepare the players and coaches for those elements?
I think a lot of it's just conversation, right? We started testing some stuff like the football temp. We put them in the freezer upstairs, see how long it would take for the air pressure to change, conversations with manufacturers. We brought some dry saunas in before the game, infrared. That's been a long time, obviously, and we brought those things in to have in there for pregame and halftime and the thermal shirts we had that were wind and cold. Our guys, the officials, actually borrowed them from us. Actually did borrow, got them. But it's like some of those things that we prepped for, we were prepped, and it comes down to a kick, right? And I'll tell you one thing that happened, which was another heroine. But before the first play of the game, Brandon Mebane, and I'm going to throw his name out there because he's my guy, he actually stuck his helmet up to warm the inside of it to a heater, which you always tell guys back in the day because they're kind of inflatable parts. And it might have caught a little heat to it and burned it. And he ended up having to wear somebody else's helmet, which was a lot easier back then than his own because we had to take it to a tent to try and get it out of the shell. Couldn't get it out. So Darren had to run it inside where it was warmer to warm it up to be able to remove the piece from the shell because it's stuck together.
Oh, man.
That was a little bit like, oh boy. And then we had to get another helmet ready just in case. And, you always have backup helmets ready to go. But that was probably one of the big things from the game. And then obviously the kick, they missed a kick at the end of the game and we won it. But it was cold. And if you ask the guys, it was Guys stayed warm. We switched a lot of stuff out at halftime because the dehydration from moisture happens, and we switched a lot of guys out of their apparel and uniforms just to get them all dried up and ready to go again. So the sweat. So it was good.
Yeah.
It was cold.
Yeah, man.
It was really cold.
I remember Russell getting blown up early in that game, and all the hand warmers went flying out like ice cubes. And I was like, what in the heck is that? And it's like, I mean, everybody must have had pockets of hand warmers if they could.
Well, yeah. Lots of hand warmers, anything you could. Thermal stuff is always good, but once you put on a thicker thermal, what does it affect the uniform fit and the gloves? You got different things in the gloves to make them a little bit warmer. You kind of try and do everything you can. Back then we had some things to keep the wind out of the ears to kind of warm them up a little bit. It was good.
Yeah.
It worked out well. We won the game. That always makes it nice. The winning always helps.
That's right. Well, listen, Erik, I know you got a lot going on this week and for the rest of the football season for sure. So we appreciate you making time for us today, and we'll see you out there next week.
All right, always. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
That was awesome. EK coming from the VMAX.